Good morning. This is the No Cap Podcast with my man Nate the Great.
Yeah.
And Kiko in the back. All right, so we're going to air out some grievances this morning. You know, all we do is beef with each other. I got some things to say, man. I'm really disappointed in you two. I got to say it. I think you guys have forgotten that I am the Michael Jordan of this No Cap Podcast here, right? And, you know, I was going to say you're Dennis Rodman because, you know, I feel you can throw me the rebounds. But to be truthful, Kiko's Dennis Rodman because he's a booger, right? He can't prove he's ever had intimacy with a woman because he ain't got no kids to prove it. So I still think he's on the fence with his sexuality, but that's okay. We're not here to judge. Be who you gotta be, Papa. And then Nate, you Scottie Pippen because you sit in the cut all cuffed up and quiet. And I think you guys have forgotten the reason we're here. The reason we're here is because of Michael Jordan. I'm gonna make you guys millionaires and you keep riding me like I'm not the true star of the show.
Is that your beef?
That's my beef, brother. Like, we can't keep doing this, man. Y'all got to understand I'm the leader of the free world.
The free world from which one? The 8 Mile, the movie? What, that free world?
Free world, fuck 212.
Okay. All right. 313 over here.
Oh, you know, and if you don't like it, you can take your feelings, put it in a ball, throw it across the street. Because the truth of the matter is I have kept this alive, man. I'm that dude.
Hey, yo, I never seen Michael Jordan quit on his team numerous occasions. But, you know, my man right here is Michael Jordan. I don't know how is that.
Well, you know, the thing about being Michael Jordan is you ain't got to say you Michael Jordan.
Oh!
See, you know, because I've been a boss my whole life, sir. So I've been my own business. I've owned my own business for 20 plus years. Nobody's, you know, I work with my father. Obviously, you're going to say he tells me what to do, but he doesn't. And you know that. But at the end of the day, you know, being a boss, you don't scream it. You don't tell it. People know it. When you walk into a room, they know you the man. And it's self-explanatory. So you getting on here on a rant, talking about you the Michael Jordan of the game. Let me tell you something. Michael Jordan doesn't have to say he's Michael Jordan. Everybody knows that. So if you're that guy, be that guy. Don't talk about it.
You know, and that's fair. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. And I wasn't going to put you on blast, right? Because all you were born with a silver spoon and I had plastic utensils.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is the only two people who don't see that are the team I built. I hand-picked both of you guys.
I love it. The truth is, Robert, we're the only people that can deal with you, right? Because me and Nate have conversations all the time because, as you could say, right? As you say, too much of Rob is too much of Rob. You got to, you know, exit that out of your life. But we use each other as crutches in order to deal with your nonsense. And that's what we do on a daily basis. Deal with your nonsense.
I'm your lifesaver. I'm the guy who's putting it all together. So we're going to move forward with that one. And
you know, not much to say. When you come for the king, you best not miss. That's a quote from The Wire, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. And the reason I say it is because you're not the king. Enough said. Let's move on.
That's what a hurt soldier would say. That's what a complaining employee does sound like. But truth be told,
I'm the employee now.
Both of you guys owe my man Donald Trump an apology. Do you see what's happening with the country today?
Wow. Donald Trump is out of his mind. And I'll tell you why. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows what this means. People are losing money. The stock market is crashing. I mean, there's a lot of...
Terror just went up to 100.
I mean, my man, it just landed. The eagle has landed, and you on the toilet taking a shit.
See, that's how I know you guys don't watch the news. Right now, as of yesterday, the stock market is at a record high. You didn't see what he just did? He's a genius.
It's at a record high?
Record high. Look it up right now. This is what happened. Let me put you guys up on game because the king is here.
This is what you do.
So what happened was Donald Trump has ceased all tariffs on any country that hasn't retaliated. So for 90 days, now we're in negotiations, right? We're going to save our country. The only country that does have a tariff is China, 104%.
Correct.
Because they buck, right?
Well,
I was right. I just said it went up 104.
Yeah, for China, correct.
Well, that, you know, let's be real, though. That's all we're talking about because everybody else doesn't, you know, when you buy this is made in China.
But wait, hold
this
on.
is made in China.
We went from stocks to tariffs. So which one we talking about? Which one we talking about?
Sorry,
you're supposed to be putting us on stop.
So I'm not done, right?
Tariffs.
So as of yesterday, Stock market shot up higher than they've ever been. Last time they were this high was in 08 when things were good, right? Right before things took a shit. Now they're at a record high because tariffs have ceased. What we have failed to realize as a country, and Donald Trump has always said it, and remember, we voted for this. This was his plan. Tariffs, tariffs, tariffs. He's been talking about tariffs for 30 years. Now he's got the opportunity to do them. So what China said, I mean, what Donald Trump has said, hey, we have made China too powerful in our country. They control too much of our lifestyle, right? So now you have other countries that are saying, hey, the same products China produced at the same price, we'll produce. And you got Indonesia.
So he created competition.
Wait, hold on. It's kind of a false statement because about 3-4 months back, we looked it up, me and you.
Okay.
And China only did what, 10%? While other countries was doing way more than China.
Correct.
So
but we're talking about little products.
You
know, he's talking about cheap products, right?
But you said just a minute ago, China is producing majority of everything.
No, I didn't say that.
You just did.
I said China produces a lot, and we rely on them. You rely on the dollar can opener, right? Instead of the $7 can opener. Truth be told. So, all I'm saying is he's a genius. You motherfuckers was talking shit. And, we can't judge.
Don't back out of your statement, though. You said they produced most of everything. Just not. Now you say, nah, they ain't. So I just
get them, Nate.
Corrected you on that, and we going to move on. Keep going.
All I'm saying is the stock market's at a record high.
Well, it's at a record. Right. Apparently, you're saying it's at a record high, but previously to that, it was at a record low, right? Like everybody was having bad and then went up. So it's basically ups and downs. And the thing that I look for, and we all look for, whether it's a president, a mechanic, your wife, you want consistency in your life, right? That's what we look for. As a president, I voted for you to give me some consistency. I really don't want to go through the ups and downs, right? Especially this up and this down, because as a car dealer, as a business owner, it hurts. 1 week I sold 5 cars, the next week I got 0 action. I went out in the auction and bought vehicles based on the fact that I've had a great month or the great last couple of weeks. I'm going on that information that I currently have in order to look towards the future. That's the game.
But is that the president's fault? First of all, let's
100%. He's responsible for my future. Let's not get it twisted. Everything he's doing now is for the future. So we still don't know if this is the proper way to go.
So you said consistency, right? Can we recall he said consistency?
That's great.
So did you want another 4 years of Biden?
No. I'm not complaining.
So you don't want consistency. You want growth.
I don't want Biden.
You want growth, correct?
Of course, growth.
That's a true statement. We all want more.
A consistent path to growth, Robert.
All right, and I'm gonna freak it right here, right? You said you sold 5 cars last week, right?
I'm giving you an example.
Okay, well, we're gonna use that as an example. You went to the auction, you bought a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you buy the car, it's a piece of shit. Then you make it good, and then you sell it, correct?
Not necessarily.
In nuance. You put
you're trying to buy it frontline ready to go, but the game is buy it and put it ready to go. So if you got one that's already ready to go, then you skip that part. But yes, the game is buy one and be ready for sale.
So look, we're gonna simplify that. We're gonna buy it, we're gonna recon it, whatever that may take, and then we're gonna sell it, right?
Correct.
Same thing with the country. He took control of the country. He's reconning it. When you're cleaning a car, you're adding a bumper, you're like, oh my God, all this money I'm putting into it. And then somebody comes the next day and drops a bag on you for all your hard work. Right now, he's putting in the hard work.
Sometimes, see, that's a good analogy, and it's a really good try. But sometimes it happens the opposite way. Sometimes you put money into a car, Nate, and you just wasted your money. I did a video yesterday. I sent it to you, and I took my car to a mechanic shop, okay? A nice Porsche Panamera, got a little light on it, wanted to see what it was. Or not a Panamera, Cayenne. Anyways, I pull up. Next to it, he's fixing an 05 PT Cruiser on jacks. He's doing motor mounts and something else to it. The point I said on the video is you're wasting your time putting money into a car that is not worth its kakapui. It's worth what the junkyard gives you. But he thought it was worth something. It's worth something to him.
And how much of that is the president's fault?
So what I'm saying is if I buy a car and it's not worth putting money into it and I can flip it the way it is, I'm going to do that. If you put money into a car and you turn around and you don't get profit from it, then you just wasted time and energy. And I hope our president is not wasting time and energy with this game plan of tariffs. I'm hoping. Now, we're all entrusted in him, regardless of what I'm hoping. He's the man with the keys. So let's hope it ends up the right way.
So Nate, I gotta ask you a question, right? So Junior's on a tangent. Sometimes we never know where he's headed with this bullshit. Junior said it's the president's fault he couldn't sell no cars, right?
No, my God.
Didn't he say that?
No,
He did say that.
I did not.
So,
Rob.
guys,
saying
look, this is the
he's
truth
just
about-
saying it can go either way. It can go your way,
Yes.
or it can go.
Have a fucking opinion. Stand
That's
up and
it.
be a fucking man.
It can
This
go
guy drives
either
me
way.
nuts.
How you don't understand
Stop
that?
being a pussy. Don't be scared of this guy. I got your back. Listen. So look, Nate, you've been successful ever since I've known you.
Wait, hold up. No. So you saying that what he said is wrong. You can't buy a garbage, put a ton of money into it, and it still be a garbage.
But
You
that's not
saying
what we're
correct?
talking about.
That's what you just
No,
used.
let me
But
finish.
you just
But
used that example.
but you know what he's saying though, and this is where you're wrong, and I gotta correct you because I just looked it up. The stock market went up because of the pause of the tariffs that he put, right? But check this out. What does that mean? Does that mean he did something successful, or does that mean they realized, wait a minute, shit's about to go left. Let's pause on these tariffs so everybody can get some money back.
That's not why the tariffs were paused. The tariffs were
We're
paused
paused. It was planned.
because what happened was, so Trump said, hey, I'm going to implement all these tariffs. All these countries came to the table and said, hey, listen, we want to negotiate. We just need some time. Fair enough. I'll give you time. I just want to talk to you because, we've had tariffs. Every country has a tariff on America. We have no tariffs on them. We're the fucking leaders of the free world. We spend the most money. We got the biggest global economy. But that's not where I'm going. Nate, ever since I've known you, you were successful. I've never known you to be a bum, right? You took, $100,000 and invested in a trucking company, right?
Yep.
Things went left.
Yep.
Was that the president's fault?
No.
So failure in your own business is the fault of your own, not of the country, not of the president. Because Junior, 70% of dealers go out of business. Is it the president's fault or is it their?
It's absolutely their fault, 100%.
You might not.
I
have,
never blame the president, by the way.
You might not have sold no cars, but you ever drove by a Toyota lot? They got no cars to sell because they sell them before they get there. Toyota of Orlando sold 1,300 units last month. Whose fault is that? Are we going to blame the president for the good and the bad? Or are we just going to say, yo, you run your business the way you want? You have the ability to grow and shrink, right? There hasn't been a law that has affected us as a dealer to say, hey, yo, the president really screwed us on this. Especially living in Florida, you sell cars as is. There's some states that have to have a warranty. Think about that, what that would do for your business. If you had to give a warranty to every car.
But nobody's blaming the president.
He just blamed the president. Stop with the fuckery, Nate.
No,
listen,
he just told
Scotty.
it goes both ways, man.
Beat me up, Scotty. You don't let pussy
You
shit.
just told him about it. You buy a car, you recall the car, you sell a car.
But he said, I sold 5 cars.
Right.
The president.
And he's saying that you can buy a piece of crap, put money in a piece of crap, and lose on that piece of crap.
And that's your fault.
Correct.
Isn't that the same thing as buying a good one, reconning it?
But that would
and
be the
making money?
president.
Isn't that your fault too?
You and now,
Yes,
no.
whether you win or lose, it's your fault.
So then what do Donald Trump got to do with it?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Not a
No,
motherfucker.
he used it. He's saying Donald Trump is us and the car is the United States.
Yeah.
He's using it as an analogy. And in that analogy, Donald Trump would be responsible.
Right now, he just hit a home run.
No, but why are we talking about him if he has nothing to do with it?
It's about accountability, right? Whether you
Why are
win,
you talking
He just, the way he does it, the Michael Jordan of the game is different. You understand? He hit different,
when Jordan lost, what did he do? He regrouped. He went and recruited Dennis Rodman. I
He
need
didn't
more
recruit
touches.
nobody.
Correct.
The coach recruited.
No, Michael Jordan recruited Dennis
Michael
Rodman.
Jordan didn't recruit nobody.
Have you not seen The Last Dance?
Dennis Rodman.
Have you not seen The
coach
Last Dance?
Recruited,
Do you watch sports?
Kerr,
Do you watch sports?
You look like a real housewife watching that.
everybody who came to that team was because of that coach.
No, man, they came because of Jordan.
Negative.
Look, we're gonna move forward because obviously you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
He said, "Yo, Jordan picked all these players." What's wrong with this guy? He did watch The Last Dance. He could have.
I've watched it. That's how I know Jordan recruited Scotty.
So
No,
I mean,
no,
so,
no,
I mean,
you
Robin,
can't-
so,
yeah,
so what did the
yeah.
coach do? So what did the coach do? He didn't do nothing. He didn't recruit nobody.
I don't know.
Then you didn't watch it.
The
You did not
organization-
watch it.
I'm only talking about the 3 that matter. Nobody else knows who played on the team.
Everybody who came to that team, the coach picked up.
Nobody knows who everybody is.
Horace Grant.
Nobody knows who that is.
Everybody knows.
Never
who
heard
that
of him
is.
in my life.
That's because you don't watch sports, actually.
Oh man,
I got to check you on that. You don't watch sports.
You know, but it all comes down to accountability. Junior called me this morning with some bullshit, right? 2 black guys were sitting in Denny's and the cops were called for no reason.
No, that's not what I said, Nate. Listen, what I said was people use calling the cops as a weapon now. Like when we were talking about previous stuff before, the you know, the reason they're called, like when it first started, the Karens and all that, the reason they're calling is to use the cops as a weapon against you. Now, whether that turns into something else, like, you know, somebody getting hurt is another story, but they're calling them to use them as a weapon. So, you know, that's what I was trying to refer to him, is that people actually use cops as a weapon
That's
against
correct.
others,
That's
especially black people. Forgive me.
We're not going to do that, right?
All right.
We're not going to play the risk.
They
It's
do-
not
they do.
correct. We're not gonna
It's a
play-
weapon.
use
They're
it
a
in
weapon.
general. Not using the color white, but people do use it.
Use it as a
Yo,
weapon.
And this is what I told him, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. Innocent people don't go to jail or get in trouble. That's a fact.
But that's not what we're talking about.
That is.
We're talking about a person calling the police for no reason, just
That's-
because anybody's walking down a block. He's not in this neighborhood. Let me call the police. They using that as a weapon.
How
against this person
often
out
does
there.
that happen?
It doesn't matter. It happened.
It happens
That's
a lot
what we're
more
talking
often
about.
than
It
you
happens.
think. In America, it happens in Ohio, in Oklahoma. It happens a lot,
doesn't.
fam.
It
because
happens in Florida.
It happens
know
in Florida. Trayvon Martin happened here. The
He
kid
was
was walking.
guilty. He was guilty.
Of what?
Yo, he attacked George Zimmerman. What are you talking about? He punched the guy in the fucking face. Listen,
What was
so-
he guilty of? Hold on. George Zimmerman went and approached him, correct? Because the kid is just walking in the neighborhood.
And that's what you do.
So
I'm a Karen in
what
my
is he
neighborhood.
guilty of? Tell me.
I'm gonna break it down to you. First of all,
Please.
I'm Captain HOA here, Papa. When I see a suspicious character in my neighborhood, I'm watching, dog. Hey, bro, what you doing? You straight? Right? And listen, yo, hold on. Trayvon Martin came from Miami, right? He came from one of the most dangerous projects in the city of Miami. He got kicked out of multiple schools. I'm talking.
Oh, you giving backstory to who Trayvon Martin is? Get to the point where he's guilty of something.
Yeah, he sparked.
Because his backstory don't mean nothing to do with this incident.
Yo,
100%.
Let's talk about what he's guilty of. You said he's guilty.
All right, I'm gonna tell you.
Tell me why he's guilty.
All right. So as he's walking down the whatever path, George Zimmerman's following him, questioning him, right?
Has no business.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. No, he
Captain
doesn't.
HOA, I
I
got all
don't care
the-
who you
What
are. My
business
man,
got
check it
five
out.
on him?
We're walking
I'm
down,
doing.
Nate, you're walking down the street, right? No. You're walking down the street, minding your own business, Nate.
This is the sound I'll be to cut you off. This is the same guy he said, yo, what person somebody breathing on his
Right. Somebody breathe on his back. Yo, my man. This is the same guy, right? So he's allowed to follow you and ask you questions. My man, you don't know him from a can of paint.
Is that illegal?
No. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You walking down the street, and I got out of my house. Yo, Captain HOA, what you doing? You look suspicious. What are you out here for?
And I say, kill yourself. Your mother's ugly. And I keep walking, right? So now let me tell you what happened.
Tell me what happened.
Trayvon, George Zimmerman's following Trayvon Martin, talking
Mhm.
shit. And what happens? Trayvon sparks him. Bam! Then what happens? He catches a slug for trying to be a thug.
Okay, so what is he guilty of?
He hit the man.
That's what he's guilty of?
Yes.
And George Zimmerman is guilty of
Nothing.
shooting the kid.
No, he was innocent.
But he did shoot him.
Oh, yeah, he
That's
shot
a
him.
fact.
Correct.
Right. So he punched Trayvon punched him,
Sparked him
and then he turned around and shot him.
and busted him
So Trayvon is guilty.
of assault.
And and you believe this in your head.
I'm positive.
And hold on. And
This
and you
story did not
and you've got
go like
11
this.
felonies.
Yes, I was guilty every time.
And every time you've been guilty,
Every time.
and you believe that Trayvon Martin deserved to get shot for punching the guy in the face who's
100%.
following him.
100%.
Well, then all I can say.
Don't put your hands
no,
on me
no,
if you
no.
ain't ready
But
for it.
All I can say.
but he didn't. That didn't play like that.
That's exactly how it played. Look it up. Are you a fucking buffoon?
You got
It
a
did play
different
like
story, Nate? How did it play
Yeah,
out?
the story. It didn't play like that.
That's exactly how it played.
Go ahead,
Yo,
Nate. Tell me.
Nate, truth be told, I spark you and you strap and I'm whooping your ass. You're not gonna shoot me?
That's what you say, but
I'm asking
I
you.
didn't see it. They didn't see it like that.
I'm asking. He was
know,
found innocent in the court of law.
He was following the kid before he shot him.
Duh.
He was following the kid for a long time.
Yeah, and
before
how
any
long was he
incident
following?
happened.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
when did he punch him in the face? Because he was following the kid forever.
Yo, they got into a tussle. I can't tell you the time frame, but look it up right now. You got Google.
When did the tussle happen?
That's why
At the store?
night.
No,
the night it
down the
happened.
bar?
the night he got
Where?
shot, right before he got shot. But I'm gonna ask you a question. Does anybody deserve to get punched in the face?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's consequences behind that. Because if
Absolutely.
you punch me in the face and I step on yours, hey,
So my man,
we
check this
play
out.
different. I don't play like you play. So don't get mad at me. And look, he went to trial. He took it to trial. A jury of his peers deemed him innocent.
So when did he? So he got punched. So he got punched in the face. So the recording of him following him in the police, they not police, but the people that answer the phone
911
told
operators.
him stop following that kid.
Yes.
Da, 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 da. So if he got punched in the face before that, he would have been already shot. So obviously he didn't get touched. And he was told stop following him. Da, 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 da. So then okay, the phone
he
call,
kept approaching
the phone
it.
call
Yeah.
went away. So then next all of a sudden the kid punched him in the face and then he shot him.
Correct.
So you
Now let me ask you a question.
you weren't hold on. You
you
weren't there, so you don't know what happened. Let's put this clear to bed, right? You weren't there, you don't know what happened.
Same for you then.
What right? But what we do know is that he was walking. Zimmerman approached
We
him.
don't know because we weren't there.
No.
No, we
There's
weren't there.
evidence of
That's
it.
on the car.
There's a
That's on
phone
the
call.
That's on the phone
There's a
call.
phone call. There's
All of it.
documented
All of
evidence.
it's on the phone
They
call.
told him
Okay.
stop following
This
him.
is evidence on trial that you could use. So
Him getting
it's factual evidence that Zimmerman was approaching him, talking to the kid, asking him questions while he's on the phone with the 911 operator, right? So the 911 operator tells Zimmerman, my man, stop following the kid. We're going to send a unit. Mind your business. Step off. That's what the 911 is saying, in other words, right? You with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. So at that point, he made a choice. Zimmerman made a choice. He could, hold on, don't say a word, Captain HOA. Zimmerman made a choice to continue to approach the situation after being told to stand down by authorities, right? What happened after that? No one knows but him and the dead boy.
So
All right, now hold on. No one knows but him and the dead boy.
Don't
That's
call-
a
don't call-
fact.
Don't call him a boy. That's a racist remark.
Excuse me, the child that lost his life. He was
His
15
name is
years old.
Trayvon.
Yeah, which you have no respect of because you're a real piece of shit for saying he's guilty for being shot.
All right, so the judge
You're a
is
real piece of shit for saying that.
the judge is a
I
piece
don't
of
care.
shit.
Yep.
The jury's a piece of shit. The United States of America is a piece of shit because according to them, George Zimmerman was innocent, Papa.
Again, you got a pistol and there's a 15-year-old boy, you're walking him around. What are you doing with your life? What's Captain HOA gonna be now?
Oh, I'm excited.
What's
I'm ready to
George?
pop off.
What's George Zimmerman? Because he's the real captain of your group. He's the Michael Jordan to the HOA board. All right, because he's following around little black boys and shooting them. He's the captain of your team. Let's not get it twisted, Mr. HOA. Since you want to go off on it, what's his life now? Is it glorious?
Yes, he's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire.
He sells art.
Really?
He's fucking killing it.
Oh, he's killing it. Why don't you go join his fucking community?
I'm trying. You didn't see I put in the application?
I'm sure
I'm
you
trying to
did.
catch some motherfucker.
They
walking through
reject
my
your
neighborhood.
ass because they know where you from.
I'm ready to crash.
You not
out
one
my
of them.
projects.
You not one of them, son. You not Zimmerman. You from Miami-Dade County, Papa. They know where you from. They know you got 12 felonies. They're not gonna let you in, Pablo.
That's
You're
what a
not gonna
hater
be
would
part of the HOA.
You don't see. You can't fathom that the kid is gonna be a part of the board. You're so used to your community and people just taking a shit on the sidewalk that you don't understand. I'm not gonna play that shit, Papa. When you walking through my projects, I ain't never seen you before. Yo, my man. Just like when I was a kid. This is a fact. This is a fact. I grew up in the south side of Dade County, Homestead, Florida. I lived in Sea Grapes, right? Right off US motherfucking 1. If you walked in my neighborhood, whether you black, white, Asian, it didn't motherfucking matter. I ain't never seen you. Hey, my man, Where you from? And you know what's crazy? You mad at George Zimmerman, but motherfuckers gotta check in LA when they get there, right? So fuck you and fuck every motherfucker with this bullshit stereotype. Because if I'm a black Crip or a Spanish Latin king and I walk through a motherfucking blood neighborhood, yo, what sex you claim? Nobody want outsiders in their neighborhood, whether we live in a nice neighborhood or we live in the motherfucking projects. So you can take your motherfucking feelings, put it in a ball, and throw that shit across the street. You fucking pussy.
Yo.
I'ma stand on mine.
Yes.
Just like I stand with Trump, we ain't letting no motherfucking illegals in this bitch. We running shit, right?
Yo,
Leader of the free world, fuck 313.
Yo, Nate. Yo, Nate, that's that trauma kicking in. When that trauma kick in, boy, that's that Dade County trauma, boy. We gonna get it, and I love it. Keep giving me the energy, because if a stranger is walking in your hood, you got a right to say something.
Oh, no! He just said you don't got a right!
But you ain't got a right to do nothing.
He didn't do nothing. He followed him.
He shot him!
Because he hit him!
He shot him!
Because he hit him!
Talking about he didn't do nothing.
He lucky he didn't hit me.
Yo,
I would have kicked his
I'm gonna
teeth
tell
right
you
out his
where
mouth.
I'm from, Papa. I'm from New York. And where we from, we mind our motherfucking business. All right? If you beating the shit out of your lady across the street, my nigga, you beating the shit out of your lady. I ain't doing nothing about it. It ain't my business. Because tomorrow you're going to be with the hoe. All right? So I don't want to hear no shit. I'm from New York. We mind our fucking business. That's where I'm from.
Let me
stand on that.
Let me tell you something about New York. Land of the biggest pussies. Biggest fake gangsters. New York motherfuckers are the biggest, fakest storytellers. Fat Joe ain't never told a true story in his fucking life. You know, if New York is so tough and y'all are so nitty and gritty, right? How was my man Fat Joe able to walk into the auditorium at the high school and rob 30 motherfuckers, one deep?
70.
My bad. 70 motherfuckers.
Like that.
70.
Don't disrespect my people like that.
Listen, first of all, you fat and you can't run.
People, you know?
Second of all, listen, where I grew up, you ain't robbing a motherfucking thing without fighting.
That's fair.
Straight like that.
Fair.
I wish you would snatch a motherfucker's chain where I'm from. He gonna eat your lunch. Straight up. And if you got a pistol, see, I'm a true criminal, 12 felonies, right? I couldn't even put a gun to a motherfucker in my projects. Now you ain't get shit. Because as soon as you point the gun, he know you ain't about that. So you know how we used to rob him back in the day? Lam! Smack him right in the face with a pistol so you know you about that action. Every New Yorker who moved to Miami, on the door. Get on the door. Get on, you gotta go. Take your lies, take that pussy shit, take your big fucking fitted in your little head and your Timberlands and get the fuck out of here. Cause y'all ain't built like that. There's only one gangster coming out of New York. His name is 50 motherfucking Cent. The rest of them dudes are straight cockapooey. Jadakiss and motherfucking look like a lesbian. Styles P, you can't even understand what he's saying when he talk. Papoose got a little head and fucking, he was a whole simp. Rode out for Remy Ma and then she fucked the Temu version of him. So fuck you, fuck New York, and fuck everything you stand on. Pussy.
Oh shit. Yeah, my man is wild.
Look, Nate from New York, he knew y'all your blood don't beat that way. Yeah, he quiet. He know what time it is, though.
Yo, relax, bro. Relax. All right. Like I said, New York cats just mind their business. And you know what? New York cats spread around everywhere because they in Miami, they in Baltimore, they in Jersey, they in Florida. It don't matter because they spread out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I give respect to Miami cats. They're going to hold down their hood 100%. But let a Miami cat come up to New York, Nate. Let a Miami cat come to the hood. Let him ride the train. Let him.
He's taking over the city.
Who, a Miami cat?
Can do from Miami.
Let me tell you, any Miami cat coming to New York, he folded.
Not at all.
Folded.
Look, we're gonna use celebrities because that's all we can talk about, right? Really, Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. He's straight out of the projects in Miami. He from Homestead.
Well, Pitbull is international. That's not New York.
Yo, think about that. The big he is, Mr. International.
I give you that. Pitbull is definitely the biggest artist to ever come out of Miami. Yeah. Hands down. But not even. But so you can't compare Pitbull to everybody else.
Yo, but what I'm saying is, Pitbull was a project baby, right? He left the hood and went to everybody's hood, and guess what? He ain't never been touched because he's from Miami.
He's an anomaly. I give you Pitbull.
They're built different,
but he's also. He can go to China right now. So he can go to China right now. He can go anywhere in the world, and they know who Pitbull is.
Kodak. He from the south side of Dade County.
Kodak's a piece of shit. Have you seen him online?
He ain't never been touched.
Bro, you look at him and he,
neither one of them is bigger than Hov.
Yeah, they are. Pitbull's bigger than Hov.
no, you stupid.
Music,
Neither one is bigger than Hov.
musically, he's not bigger
What
than
do you
Hov.
mean? What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean by musically?
Yo,
No.
if
Like
they-
hits? Like
No.
hits? What are
yeah,
you talking about?
he sells more records. He's Spanish.
Oh no,
He's
no.
Spanish.
Does he sell more records?
Yo, and let me
than
tell you
Hov?
something.
That's a good question.
You know
But
what?
He's not bigger than Hov.
He's bigger. And I'm gonna tell you why.
He's not bigger than
Listen,
Hov.
Jay-Z's only
And
big.
Hov's been everywhere.
I'm gonna freak you with this.
So
I'm
we was just talking. He was just talking about people been everywhere. and not
Jay-Z's
touched.
never
But we
been to
talking about Hov.
Jay-Z's never
Hov's
been
been everywhere.
Jay-Z pussy. He
And
got
not touched.
he got chased home in '96.
He's
He had to
been
call Nas.
everywhere.
He had to call Nas. Nas ain't even
Now,
thought.
who else? Where else we go with it?
Yo,
We
and-
go with 50's been everywhere. Too.
yeah, yeah,
50?
50.
50
50's
too.
worldwide. 50. But yo,
All right,
truth be
wait,
told,
hold on. Wu-Tang's been everywhere.
oh, they're bums.
You right.
They're
Wu-Tang's
bums.
been
New,
everywhere.
New York cats
Wait,
been
hold up.
everywhere.
Yo, hold
for
on,
sure.
hold on, hold
but
on.
it's not even close. You got Pitbull and that's it.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
Internationally known is only Pitbull. People don't know who Rick Ross is.
You're crazy. You just heard what he said.
You go to Asia, you go to Indonesia, you go to all these places. They know who 50 Cent is.
They
They,
know
don't
Rick
know
Ross.
Rick. They don't know
Yo,
Rick
let me
Ross.
tell you. Hold on.
They don't know
Right.
Rick Ross,
Pause.
fam.
Pause. I'm gonna freak it. Yo, Jay-Z.
don't know.
Jay-Z's only big because he's black. That's it. Right? Secondly, yo,
Wait. Pitbull has not sold more albums than Jay-Z.
No,
just to be clear.
we got to talk about streams. Google streams.
Now you want to look up streams?
Yeah, 'cause we don't sell albums no more.
All right.
Yo,
But that's their era. Their era is out.
Out, you.
they grew up together. Pitbull and Jay-Z in the same time frame.
That's what I'm saying. Same era.
No, but he's still making music today.
Album.
Jay-Z ain't putting out nothing. So who has the most streams? Just look that up.
What Pitbull put out?
He's Spanish. I don't listen to him.
So
I don't speak Spanish. I grew up in a black neighborhood.
Is,
I don't really
is
like
all
Spanish.
he's doing now is Spanish music,
Yeah.
Pitbull?
Yo, but check this out. Rick Ross is the only goon to defeat 50. So Miami is winning.
Really?
Who else is beating 50? He destroyed Ja Rule. He's destroyed everybody. And then we all saw the Wu-Tang documentary. Bunch of pussies. Bunch of pussies.
Okay. As of August 18,
Wu-Tang
2024,
documentary was
Jay-Z has surpassed 10 billion total streams on Spotify, while Pitbull has not reached that milestone.
Fair enough.
Not even close. Again,
Fair
Pitbull does his thing, but people out of Miami are not that recognized. You know, so I'll give you Pitbull.
Sorry, my man.
Most
Sorry.
of the people that are in
You know what I
Miami
mean?
are not from Miami,
You
so
know
drop
what I
the
mean?
tune on that. You know, all the cats that live in Miami, we with you, but you not from there, fam.
Hey, you with us, but we not with you. So you can take your New York shit across the street.
New York runs the world.
No, they don't.
They run
No,
Miami.
don't.
They run Miami.
No, they don't.
More cats in New York than in Miami. I mean, more cats from New York live in Miami than cats from Miami.
No, they don't. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? What are you getting into?
Everybody lives in Miami. All of them.
Dog,
All of them.
you can't.
All of them.
You can't say there's more New Yorkers. In
I
Miami
know.
than
I'm
Miami.
just talking. Yeah, of course. But you know, I'm just facing facts. Miami's been overrun by New York cats,
It's
and I know it
hasn't.
hurt your feelings.
No, they don't.
I know it does.
They go there. And not
I
survive.
understand. I understand.
They go
That's
there
why
and can't
Miami
survive.
cats like you move up to Orlando.
I moved up to
Drop
Orlando.
a beat. Drop a beat on that one. Drop a beat. Drop a beat. Drop another one. Give him a DJ Khaled. Another one. I'm killing Michael Jordan in practice,
man.
baby. Woo. Don't ever call me Dennis Rodman in your life. I'm Scottie Pippen, and I always will be. Top 50.
You can't prove you've had sex, so you can't. You have to be. Until you have a
Yo,
kid, you don't know.
What's up with the girl on my phone? Tell her, because she's on my phone killing me, bro. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to put in no work, ladies. Holla at your boy. You got to do all the work. You know, I might throw a little cash because it make it easy, but I'm not going to do no work. Forgive me. Go ahead, bro.
You don't do no work on the podcast. You don't do no work on.
I don't do no work, period. You're right. I mean, I'm my own boss. So according to you, I'm lazy.
Very lazy.
Which is fair. I've been lazy throughout a lot of points in my life, but when I work, I work. You understand what I'm saying? Proof is in the pudding, brother.
Hey, if that's what you call it.
But I do want to congratulate you. You've had a great week. I'm gonna shout out to Rob. You know, he's getting destroyed on the podcast because I'm Michael Jordan. He's Scottie Pippen. But
There's no way you could be.
but
Michael
wait,
Jordan
hold on. Let me
walking in
congratulate
with
you.
your
Let me
breakfast basket.
congratulate you. You had a good week. You bought an amazing car yesterday. He bought a what was it? A Q56 Infinity truck. I was there. It was one of those cars that you're not gonna find another one 12 years old, and you can hunt the whole country and not find a cleaner car.
You saw
So-
outside Nate, right?
So when you buy a car like that, you're proud. You're proud of, what you've accomplished and what you've been able to buy. Yeah, it wasn't, he's bought more expensive cars. That's not the point. The point is he's got the best one in the country by far. And when you have one of those, it really feels good. Sold a couple cars yesterday,
Yeah.
and you actually
Sold
bought a
an
car.
Acura.
You bought a car. You showed some initiative. Tell them the story.
Yeah. So right now, oh my God, Nate, have you seen
Tell them the
fucking
prices.
prices? I don't know why dealers panic. I never understood that, man. As a customer, do you panic with inflations? Are you loading up on rice and bullshit?
Nah,
Nah, you just buy as you go, right?
that's it.
So, we're at the auction, me and him yesterday, and we thought it was going to be a wash because nobody was there.
Correct.
So there was maybe 40 people at the auction. I've never seen it so empty in my life. So he's like, hey, I'm going to pull up. I'm going to buy a bunch of cars.
Because mind you, this is an auction that runs a couple thousand cars.
3,000 yesterday.
So to have 40, 50 people, it was probably 100 people, but normally there's 400 or 500 people. So I'm giving you some context. Normally there's 4 or 5 times more people. So when he called me, I was like, oh, wait, this is an opportunity to buy cars. Let me join you, because I wasn't going to go to buy any because I bought some this week. But go ahead with the rest of the story.
So he pulls up, right? And we're looking, man. We're looking. And I got a list of 2. I went to look at 20.
There was only 2 cars,
2 cars on my
out of
list.
2,000 cars. That's easy.
Yep. And then I'm trying to pick up the crashed cars because you'll get a green light on a crashed car and all you need is a bumper and a paint job. And y'all know I'm plugged in on the paint, right? I'm watching H. Greg, Carvana, Drive Time. All these franchise guys paid top dollar. I'm talking about, there was a 2020 Corolla missing the whole front end.
Yeah.
MMR's 13. I'm like, oh, I'm in it for 7.
Yeah.
It brought 15 grand.
Yes.
$15,000. It needs the whole front end.
Tell them who bought it.
It was H. Craig. They're huge, bro. They're bigger than CarMax.
They had no reason to buy this
They
car.
had no reason. It's not a car to buy.
Other than to have the mind frame to buy cars that are crash and retail them. Things that small guys are doing.
Yeah,
So if they start doing what we're doing, what
We're
does that
fucked.
do to us?
we're fucked. So this is the first time I've ever worried about the auto industry, right? First time ever. I'm like, yo, this is crazy because MMR's 13, right? So clean, it should bring 15. It brought 15 fucked. I was going to buy it, have it ready, have all 11 into it to hope to sell it for 15. They bought it at 15 to have 19, 20 in it. What are you going to sell it for? So, man, I'm panicking, man. I don't know what to do. An Infinity pulls up, MMR's $5,000, right? It brings $11,000.
That car brought 11.
11, and with a 1 CR. You know what 1 means?
It was way better than 1, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But the condition goes from 1 to 5. 1. It had a 1.
One is good or one is bad?
1 is bad.
Terrible.
1 is the worst.
One
5
is it's
the best.
crashed. It should be crashed. It should be the interior. It should smell like Kakapui. It should
Structural
be.
damage.
It's a nightmare. 1 is 0. You don't want it.
10 grand.
11.
Because it wasn't a right CR. See, what happens in the auction is, and this is what the problem is, they inflate the value of the car according to the condition. So when you bring a car into the auction, they do what they call a condition report. Someone goes around the car, checks the paint, checks the motor, checks the AC, the cleanliness of the car. The whole car gets an inspection, and you get a rating from 0 to 5. Depending on that rating, it depends on the value of the car. So if in this case, if it's a 3.0 as opposed to a 1.0, that 3.0 is way cleaner, way ready. You're gonna be, you're gonna pay more for this car because it's cleaner. You're gonna pay less for this car because it has more issues. So that's how you evaluate what the car's worth, just to break it down so everybody understands. So I looked at a car, the same truck he looked at, same car, 2013 Q56, okay? MMR, they put it at 7,800. I looked at it, okay? The regular MMR, listen to me carefully, was 3,500. I gave him a bonus for miles, which was about 1,000 something, right? Then it went to the CR. It was a 3.3, Rob. you know what the value it gave? It gave it another $3,000 because of that condition rating. So it went from $3,000 to a little over close to $5,000 with the mileage upgrade. And then when the CR came, it went all the way to $8,000. So they valued the car at $8,000. But I'm there personally. I'm the only one that bid on it. So my highest bid was $7,000 because they didn't even want to open it with me. I was like, I'll do it for $7,000. Give me a phone call. They called me back. They wanted $8,900. My man bought a brand new one, the best in the world, for $9,500.
So what happened was I saw mine, right? 4.5 CR. MMR was about $8,000. But man, 48 service records, brand new tires. I'm talking perfect.
You gotta own it. You gotta own it.
So Junior put me up on this trick, right? I know I'm willing to pay $9,000. I know it. The bidding opens at 9. I throw my hand in the air. Everybody's waiting for it to drop. It doesn't drop. They want to hit me on an if. The guy wanted $11,000 for the car. But I negotiated $9,500. But man, I'm telling you, people are really panicking.
No, but you took advantage of an opportunity, which wasn't that one. It was the Lexus. Tell them about the Lexus.
That's what we were going with.
Yeah.
So there was a Lexus MMR 9500. I'm the winning bid at 75. Beautiful Lexus. It's got the body kit, the muffler, the pristine IS 250 or 300, whatever the case may be. So I'm the winning bid on if. They countered at 85. I said, nah, man, fuck y'all. I'll give you 8. They declined it. I call him and he's like, bruh, you should have bought it.
What are you doing?
Oh my God, you should. And then I went into that panic mode. I should have bought it. Because prices are just gonna go up.
Correct.
For the next 90 days.
Next week it's gonna be more money. What are you doing to yourself? Buy it now.
Yep.
Is what I told him.
And then at the same time he's telling me that, I just wholesaled a Corolla. I wholesaled a 2010 Corolla. The AC didn't work in the middle. You know that? I'm all in for, I don't know, 55. I wholesale it for 65. 62, something like that. I made $500, not a big deal. But I'm like, damn, if I can buy something MMR lot ready, go for it. So he put it in my head. I called. Boom, I got it. Now I
Close the deal.
I got to pick it up right after this. But people are panicking with these tariffs, man. I don't get it. I don't know why dealers fuck up the industry by panicking. He's a customer. He's not loading up on shit.
I believe customers are panicking. Maybe not on loading up on rice and stuff like that, but they're holding on to their money. To me, that's panicking.
You panicking on anything? You worried about anything? You know, truth be told, this shit doesn't affect us.
Nah.
Says the guy worried about prices next week. Come on, it's affecting us.
No, business owners, we're different, right? But as the average everyday person, it doesn't affect us.
A lot doesn't affect the average everyday person, though, to be honest with you, right? Because they don't have the luxury, you know, they don't have that discomfort of dealing with other problems of the world, like China or whatever the tariffs, right, are affecting the car market because cars are coming from different countries here. So that doesn't affect him, but it affects us directly, you know, and that's the problem because we're panicking. They're going to panic.
But the tariff itself doesn't affect us. The fear affects us.
As of right now, yes. The tariffs have not affected us now, but the fear of the tariffs and what they might do are affecting us.
And this is my biggest problem. Have you ever been to the auction? They don't have a lot of cars. You ever been to Manhattan?
It's happened.
Never. Never.
Not a lot. I mean, not as much as before. I mean, they still have hundreds of cars.
Thousands.
Depending on which one you go to.
If you ever go to Manheim Central, they always hover between 2,500 and 3,000. Even
see, they have 3 different days that they do sales.
I'm talking about just Wednesday.
So you're talking about overall or Wednesday?
Just Wednesday morning.
Just Wednesday morning?
Just Wednesday morning. So why people are panicking, I don't know. Because next week there's going to be 2,500 cars. So you didn't need to load up this week.
I think the panic is that the car market, there's not going to be those cars. I think that's what the panic is for us. Because, again, we're concerned that the big franchise dealers are going to do what we do, right? Take away what the small guy does, which is independent dealers basically buy trade-ins, recon them, and put them for sale. If they're going to start doing that, if H. Greg is doing it, Honda, Massey Cadillac, all these different franchises are doing that, they're going to put us out of business because they're not running cars through the auction for us to buy.
So the only way franchise dealers survive is based on us. We buy their trades. They make more money on trades than they do retail.
That's correct.
You know, and if they want their trades, they keep them.
Correct.
There's no panic. You don't need to worry.
But if they panic,
because you still have new cars.
As an independent dealer, if they panic and say, we're going to hold on to all our fucking cars. We're not gonna run any through the auction. There's nothing for us to buy.
We still got repos.
Again, there's nothing of quality for us to buy. Buy some repos. Good luck with that.
Hey, I buy repos all the time, man.
I know, but you buy newer repos, and you know the thing is, Nate, when you buy repos, it's worse than when you got it. 100% of the time. Not one time has a car come back better than what you gave it at. I promise you that. Is that fact?
Yeah.
So when it comes to repos, you don't want them for that reason. There's many reasons why you don't want them, but that's the main reason. Now, once in a while, like you showed Bank of America's repos yesterday, and people really understood what you were saying, is that the new customers, the guys that could afford $100,000 car, are getting repoed right
But I
now.
don't think that. I've seen that, but I don't think that's true. I don't think everybody that was owning those cars is making over 100,000.
You got to qualify for it. You have to have that income to buy that car.
To buy a $80,000 Corvette, you got to have
You got
$100,000.
to 100,000 plus. You can't buy it with no income.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not saying without no income, but you know, if you got 50,000,
They won't do
You
it.
got $10,000 down.
What does 50,000 get you, Rob?
You can actually get that car.
No, you can't.
If you got an income of $50,000 a year, you're expert at financing.
Yeah, you can't buy that car. So, like,
What can you afford for $50,000?
If you make
My
$50,000
dude
a year, you got
had a
$40,000
brand new Camaro, and he had, I mean, not a brand new Camaro, a brand new Corvette.
They're cheap though. They're 50 grand.
And so yeah, but what you was looking at was Corvettes and BMW.
No, but that BMW was 90,000.
Yeah,
Right. Then I'm looking at the Chevy Tahoe, the fully loaded LTZ version.
that's 100
100
grand. That's 100
You
grand.
gotta make 100,000 to buy that. It doesn't matter if you put $10,000 down is nothing to me. It doesn't even do a dent.
Back in the day, my man used to he was a drug dealer.
No, I beg to differ.
Look, I went to go look at a new
He took
Sequoia.
$10,000 down and he bought a brand new BMW. But this was back in the
Back
day.
in the day, today,
Back in
there's
the day,
nothing.
you could take 10 racks and buy something brand new.
Yeah, today there's nothing. Look, I went and looked at the new Sequoia. Right, sticker price is 95,000. Plus, we're at 105. Minus $10,000, we're at 95,000. Payments $1,500 a month. You need to make 120, 130 to qualify. They're not giving it to you if you make 50 grand a year, even if you put down $40,000. Then you got to explain where you got the fucking $40,000 from. You're making 50 grand a year. The IRS wants to know where you got 40,000 from. You're not buying it. So all those repos I showed yesterday, these are high level earners. Remember when we were talking about what the medium salary is? 50 grand. You didn't believe that? I just showed you the middle of America, the reality of what's going on. A lot of these people, I think, lost their jobs when Trump did that massive layoff, when he fired everybody from all these government agencies.
You know,
Now that I can believe that. I can believe that. You know, a lot of people got laid off, things like that.
First thing to go is the car.
I think with the fear that we've been talking about with the tariffs and everything, I think middle America is the one in trouble. If I had to guess who's really going to be penalized, it's never the filthy rich, right? Those guys, they maneuver. They know why, because they're playing the game. They know the rules. They know the players. So they maneuver around losing tons and tons and tons of money. Even the GameStop
They never
scandal,
lose money, though.
they lost the money, but the government gave it back to them. So at the end of the day, those guys are always going to be okay. The top 1%,
You know, and this
right?
is, this
And
is,
then the bottom end are the bottom.
But
If you already don't got shit, you not nothing to lose.
yeah, you can't fall from the floor.
But
Correct.
Is a repo, so giving a car back, is that the same thing as a repo?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no difference.
That's a voluntary repo.
But it hits your credit the same. It hits your credit the same.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It's the same.
It's the
You should have
same.
made them hunt for
The
it.
only thing you did was made it easy for them.
Yeah, you should have made them motherfuckers find it.
Yeah. No, but that's another thing that people don't understand. When you turn your car in, ladies and gentlemen, you're voluntarily turning it in. You're doing nothing good for yourself.
Yeah, you're dumb. See, this is the problem. See, we're all middle America, right?
Yes.
And the problem is, so everybody said Trump is against us, right? He loves the billionaires and all that. Who took the biggest hit when the stock market crashes? How many stocks you got? You got none. You got none. I got none. We didn't. That shit don't. I don't give a fuck what the stock market is doing. Truth be told,
less.
right? But what rich people know that us middle class and poor people don't is don't panic. So when we had the housing
That's
crisis,
fair.
we had the housing crisis. What was that? 08?
07.
People said, "Hey, I'm not paying for this house because it's worth more than I owe more than it's worth," right? That's the dumbest statement you can ever make. Because truth be told, Nate, right now you probably owe more on your car than it's worth. If you stop making that payment, how do you get to work?
Bus.
you fucked yourself, right? And it's the same thing when you buy a house, you're not buying the house. You're buying the mortgage, because one thing's for certain, rent has never gone down. So what's your mortgage every month?
Facts.
1700.
So you pay $1,700 a month. So in 20 years, if your house is not paid off, you're still paying $1,700. But a motherfucker who's renting, the average rent today in Orlando is $3,500
It goes up a little bit.
based on taxes, but there's nuance to that.
Yeah.
So for you to say, "Oh, fuck this house," I bought it for 200, it's worth 100. I'm like, you stupid motherfucker, where are you gonna go live?
Yeah.
You're gonna pay more for rent, and rich people know that. So when you invest in the stock market, right? If you got 100 shares and the stock, you bought it at $1 and it's 50 cents, you lost half your money, right? But you didn't lose half your shares. So once it goes back to $1, your money's back. What do poor people do? Just like what we
Panic.
did with Dogecoin,
Panic.
we did with sell.
Panic.
So I need my bread.
I wish I would have sold.
But that's what happens. Rich people don't panic because they know it's not forever. Everything that happens in the country is temporary. It always resets itself. There's always a silver lining at the end.
Just don't know when though.
You don't know when. But your mortgage, it's $1,700 this month and next month.
Definitely.
If you give that house up, you got to go rent for $3,500 in the projects. Why do that? If you don't make your car, you want a motherfucking bus or you Ubering, and Uber is twice as expensive as your car payment.
Damn, yeah.
So that's the problem. We just panic. We're so ignorant to the reality, and we let these people on TikTok and YouTube. You shouldn't pay your mortgage. The way to get rich is just skip your mortgage payment. Come on, bro, but that shit don't work like that, man. There's no easy solution to your problem. It's all hard work. So shut the fuck up if you're not going to give up and do the work.
We can appreciate that.
100%.
But a lot of those people couldn't afford the house they were living in. That is the real fact.
And those cars that got repossessed.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you made a choice, right? You chose to buy that car you couldn't afford, let's say, or buy that house that you had no business getting into, let's say, because back in them days, they were getting everybody into a house, and they knew these people couldn't afford it. They were fraudulently making, stubs and all types of proof of income, and these people didn't have that actual income. So it was fraud from the beginning. The whole system was putting people in houses knowing they couldn't afford it. So what does that do? It blows up. You think the people didn't know that? There was people that bet against it. Watch the movie.
I saw it.
They made the movie. So, at the end of the day, they know the game and we don't. We're just pawns in this. If we're middle America, we're pawns to the top 1%. That's just a fact. And if you deny it, then you're just take the red pill or the blue pill. Which one you want?
The problem is everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses. That's just what it comes down to. Everybody wants the best of the best and nobody saves for anything. You've never seen somebody, they'll not pay their mortgage for 2 years and have no money. You know what I'm saying?
Because that money went on something else.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got people who come to my dealership. You probably have this all the time. Hey, I can make any amount of payment. How much you got down?
No, you can.
Nothing. So you got no money down, but you can afford $700 a month? Then where's that $700 coming from?
No, my favorite is money's not a problem. It obviously is because you coming to me, fam. Let's be honest. Money's a problem, So if I ask you what it is, don't tell me money's not a problem. They'll say, oh, I make, and this is what kills me. People actually make money out there. Mm-hmm. They'll prove to me that they make $1,500 a week, fam. I can see it.
Yeah.
But they got no money.
Yeah, where's it going?
You got $1,500 down on a $15,000 unit. You got no credit and you got no money, but you can show income. What are they doing? They're living irresponsibly. They're mismanaging their money.
They're spending 100% of
this is what mid-America do. All we do is spend what we don't have.
But you know what I hate the most? And Nate did this to me a couple weeks ago. He wanted to buy a car. I said, how much money you got? It doesn't matter. It depends. It never depends, brother. It never depends.
I did that to you?
Yup.
But check this out.
Does it ever depend?
You know what?
Does it ever depend? Closing statements here. When a customer says, when you ask a customer, hey, how much money do you have? And they say, it depends. Does it ever depend?
Coming from me? No. No, it doesn't depend.
Coming from me, it depends.
On what?
Coming from a
what
customer.
I want to spend.
You already
what
know
do
what
I
you want to
like?
spend.
Yes.
So
And
it doesn't depend. Your mind is
it
made up.
depends. It fluctuates from
No, see, he-
$1,000 to $5,000.
Yeah, see, he's saying,
whatever number I wanna-
and this is what the customer says. He's saying it depends what you show me. It depends what you got, right? That's what you're saying.
and what I like. On
Correct.
Top of that.
If
All
you bring in heat and he likes it, now it depends.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go into my savings.
you know,
You know,
might go broke for
You know,
might spend more than I got.
it. Then it get repossessed.
hey
That's how it works.
guys,
Oh,
that was this
That's
week's episode.
Gabos.
That was this week's episode. Nate the Great.
Yeah.
Chico, chime in. Does it ever depend, right? Are we scared of the tariffs? Is Donald Trump doing the right thing? Yo, answer these questions in the comment. Is Nate a pussy and scared of Kiko? That's why he won't give an opinion. Is Kiko's name stupid? He should call himself Junior because nobody can pronounce Kiko.
Is Robert the MJ of the game?
Am I Michael Jordan?
Sound off, fellas.